just see if we're live.
Okay.
Kieran? He's checking.
Excellent.
There we are. I see us.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so here we are with the inaugural YouTube live on I Want to Believe channel. And there goes my son. Well, that's awkward. It's a little awkward. So here I am. I'm Tracy Bach. I'm your host, and this is I Got Your Message. It's kind of a podcast. This is a video podcast of kind of everyday spirituality. It's my intention is to take the woo-woo out of these concepts that we hear, these buzzwords around spirituality, and kind of break them down, shake them up, and give them to you, spoon feed them to you, or baby bird them to you in some sort of way. So today's episode is called Magic Mike. And we're going to talk to the beautiful Selena Jones. We're going to talk about angels. We're going to talk about energy healing, mostly Magic Mike. I mean, Archangel Michael. Who doesn't love him, right? Yeah. So my guest is the beautiful Selena Jones. She is a energy balancing practitioner, and she's going to explain what the hell that means. She's also a clairvoyant, and she's an angel communicator. I like to call her the angel whisperer. So welcome. Yay.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, so good to see you here. So one of the first things I kind of want to hear your story a little bit, because you weren't born with wings on your back or seeing wings, or like you came like inspire people, because you came from a place of kind of like, this is all a little BS.
No, I thought it was complete BS. Can I say, do we swear? I know you and me by ourselves.
Well, yes. Okay. We swear a lot.
Okay. We're honest.
Yeah.
So honest.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, I can definitely say, because Tracy and I have known each other for a while, so I'm sure you know elements of my story anyway. But no, I mean, I came into this, if you had asked me 20 years ago, to watch myself today, I would have thought you were completely insane. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, not just a skeptic, but an all out, like, you're full of it, right? Yeah. This is absolute BS. And if you're hearing things and you're seeing things, you have problems.
Right? You need to see a mental health practitioner immediately.
Yes, healthcare practitioner, right? And I'm sitting here now, hearing things and seeing things.
And she's not schizophrenic, folks. Yeah, she's not schizophrenic.
No. Occasionally we question our sanity, but that's the human experience. Exactly. I'm going to say as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, because I came into this very science-based. Coming out of school, I always very much wanted to do something in healthcare, something in healing. That has always been very important to me. I looked at nursing for quite a bit. I volunteered through high school in the hospital locally here, and decided there were maybe a few too many humans over there. So I ended up becoming a veterinary nurse.
The furry humans.
Yes. And I did that for a number of years. But during that time, I had kind of one of these life-changing experiences. I had an emotional loss. I lost a very, very dear person to me. And I did what Selena always does. Back then, I stuffed it all down. I pushed it aside and I kept going on. And I got really, really sick doing that. Putting myself last over this experience was the last straw, really, for me. Yeah. So physically, my body shut down. And I went through the healthcare system for 8-9 months. They thought at one point I had cancer, decided I didn't have cancer, and eventually just said, well, we don't know what's wrong with you, so take an aspirin and go home.
Which nobody's bashing traditional Western health.
No, this is absolute blend. If you break your leg, like, I would like the morphine and the surgery, please, right?
Stat.
I will then ask myself the energetic principles of why.
That's right.
And the emotions behind it, so that I don't have this again.
Yeah. But if you don't give me the morphine, I'm throat punching you. Like now.
Right? Yeah. The morphine and the orthopedic surgeon, please and thank you, with gratitude, right?
Yeah.
So it is not in any way bashing that, but it's going, we need some balance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you know how the universe works. I won a gift certificate to get energy healing done.
Mm.
The stuff that I thought was all bull, right? Medical system had nothing for me. I got energy healing, and it was a therapeutic touch. Was the first my first exposure. This was in 2008, and lack of a better term, it cured me.
Yeah.
I've gone through the whole medical system, doctors, specialists, the whole thing, and within a few weeks, my symptoms were gone.
Amazing. Amazing.
So my ego, right? But my science brain said, okay, teach me. So I started taking courses, and all of a sudden, I started being able to see auras, and it went from there. So my ego was deconstructed,
Yeah.
very much so, and it allowed my psychic abilities to open up.
That's amazing. And also, we're going to explain what aura is, auras are. We're going to explain on a future episode. I'm gonna take on the challenge of explaining ego, because ego gets a bad rap. Come on, like
Yeah.
ego has a purpose. Ego has a place. I like to have a little soft, comfy, beautiful soft spot for ego, but we'll get there another time. So when I
Sounds
first met you, my dear, we were we were just laughing about this earlier, is that we met each other right around, I guess, 2009-ish. When was
yeah.
9, 10? Something
Yeah.
maybe a little bit just in that area of when you had first had this epiphany and this dramatic thing that happened in your life,
Yes.
with a lot of grief. And just we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the energy of emotions and stuff, but I just want to say one thing. Here's something that everybody needs to know. Everything in the universe is energy.
Oh
A
yeah.
thought is energy, an emotion is energy, our bodies are energy, a plant is energy, this stupid thing is energy. So, like, not stupid, it's not a stupid thing. I love you. No, but everything is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed, but it can be transmuted and changed.
Mhm.
And so, the best part. So anything that is possible is an energetic realm, and so that's what's happening. Was happening with Selena, some energetic sort of low vibe energy that was just sort of stuck in her her physical energetic body. And I
Yeah.
also want to do a shout out to like quantum mechanics, right? Proving all of us energy people right. Yo.
Yeah, quantum physicists, thank you, because
Yes.
I can experience it, but I can't explain it.
No, and we're also like all of a sudden we're getting a little more legit, maybe. I mean, we've always been legit, but okay. So when I first met Selena, we kind of both were in the spiritual closet, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we met through a mutual friend, and it was just kind of one of those like, okay, we're gonna share a little bit about our experiences, and
Yeah.
then a little bit more. And so, yeah, it was a really great connection. And Selena came, like I said, leaping out of the spiritual closet, and I just sort of put one toe out. But
So
now
she
I'm
was the
completely out.
podcast.
I'm
Yeah.
completely out. So let's talk about let's just talk about the energy bit of your story. So did you know at the time that it was just like the energy of grief, the energy of sadness that was affecting you?
No, I didn't know any of it. It was completely foreign to me, but it really was essentially, so as you said, emotions are energy.
Yeah.
And we're here in human form to experience the emotions. You're not supposed to not experience some of these emotions, right? This is the purpose of being human. We're not here to be sterile robots. But you experience the emotion, you process it, and you let it flow through. And I didn't process my grief. I hung on to it. I didn't recognize it. I didn't take the time to allow myself to be loved and to be cared for, because Selena's role from day one, from childhood, Selena takes care of other people.
Yeah.
That's my role. That's my role
That's your
as
story.
that's my
I'm
story.
only valuable if I'm taking care of someone. Yeah.
Completely, whether that was as a child within my family, whether that was as a mother, as a parent, as a spouse, and as a career. That's who Selena was. And that's when we talk about ego not working out, right? I had created
Mhm.
this identity, so I didn't also allow myself to be cared for and to heal. And So the trapped emotions, not only of grief, but it was also of probably a self-worth, right?
Mm.
Um, and so when I genuinely allowed myself to be cared for, it the grief was able to flow through and
Yeah.
out.
Beautiful. And one of the things that I've learned recently, or I've sort of come to me, is that we are taught from a very young age not to feel pain,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a bad thing to feel pain. So whether it's physical
What?
pain, we want a pill. If it's emotional pain, we shove it down, we ignore it, with stiff upper lip. Let's, life goes on. Well, of course life goes on, but it fucking hurts. Excuse my language. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Being human is not always the
It is not
safest
an
or most
easy.
comfortable place to be, and so we're really, it's ingrained in us to not feel. I feel bad that I said that word, so if I've offended anybody, it won't happen again. Well, yes, it will, but no, but we're
Come on,
conditioned. Yeah,
Tracy. Never.
we're conditioned not to feel pain, and so when an emotion comes, it's like, no, I'm not going to process. I can't feel this, and this is from a subconscious level, and that's when we know that if there's a buildup of energy anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
like I just even think of like a buildup of dirt energy under our skin, we're gonna get a zit.
Yep.
If there's a bunch of energy under a rumbling energy under the earth, we're gonna get a volcano. The same thing happens in the human spirit and the human
Yeah.
physical, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is your job. One of your zones of brilliance is to recognize I mean, you're obviously trained. I think you're an emotion code practitioner, which we'll put all Selena's links and all her, like, her pedigree, which is way too long to talk about right now, but we'll put it all after the fact, and you guys can reach out to her. But so this is, you've developed, I think, your own system, and it's also a daily practice in your family and with yourself, of this sort of energy healing, moving energy. We can do it with magnets. We can do it with lots of different ways. But now I want to talk about our superhero guest of honor, Magic Mike. So let's talk about the first time that you, well, I know this story, so I'm just going to jump right in, that you saw an angel.
Yeah. So yeah, that was 2009. So I'd had my ass kicked energetically in 2007. Found some crazy healing, and then started my educational journey in the energy world in 2008. And by 2009, I was starting to I'd completed all 3 levels of therapeutic touch, and I was starting to do some energy work. And I had this beautiful client, lovely elderly woman in her 90s, who, living alone, she'd broken her arm. Her family had arranged for me to go in to her little apartment once a week and do some energy healing. And I just adored this lady. And it wasn't working, bluntly. It just wasn't working, the energy work. And I couldn't figure out why. And I was still relatively new at it at that stage. And I'm going, why isn't it working? And the answer to why it wasn't working, essentially, we go back to emotions. She really loved our visits. She was a widow. She was
Oh,
blind.
she
She was
didn't want to
living by herself.
heal. She
She didn't
didn't.
want to heal. She wanted me to keep coming, because we'd show up and, like, I, I love talking to geriatric people, right? Our elders are amazing, right?
Right? Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd sit there and I'd have great conversations with her, and she didn't want to heal. She didn't want me to stop coming, was the answer.
Yeah. And the touch part. Oh,
Huge, right? Just being
yeah.
able to, because you're moving the energy on, but you're also the emotional component. You're putting in compassion. You're putting in healing.
Yeah. I
But
love
anyway,
it.
I didn't know why it wasn't working. And so then I looked up, and I'm going, what's going on? Because the energy, it's just not working. And there's an angel standing in the corner of the room. I
Did
immediately
you
knew
know
it
it
was.
was an angel at the time?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was an immediate knowing. This was an angel, and it was Archangel Michael.
Yay,
Now, to
Magic
back
Mike.
up,
Magic
right?
Mike.
To back up, I did not believe in angels. Okay, let's make this clear. I didn't know who the heck Archangel Michael was, and even if I did, they didn't exist. Let's make that really clear. That was one of those, okay, I can accept that energy healing works because I've now experienced it. However, everything else, you're still insane. I'd gone through the Catholic school system, so I was super jaded.
The Catholics believe in angels. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, and I came out not happy with that particular education,
Right.
and thinking everything even remotely related to that was wrong,
Gotcha.
which is hilarious because then I ended up marrying a Catholic school teacher. But I realized now I had thrown the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
So, that was also part of the beautiful connection with my husband, was leading me back into certain aspects of spirituality that I had 100% shut off.
Gotcha.
But based on those early experiences, anything remotely related to any sense of what I would connect with religion, because angels are not connected to religion,
Yeah.
but they are celebrated or acknowledged in certain faiths.
Yeah.
But intellectually, I only knew them as a connection to religion.
Okay.
And so I did not believe in angels, didn't know who Michael was. And he's standing in the corner of the room going, hey, so I'm Archangel Michael. And here's what's wrong with the lady you're working on. Here's why it's not working. And he explained everything to me. It was a complete download. Like, I don't know the time that passed. It was probably 3-4 seconds, but I may as well have had an hour-long conversation.
Oh,
Complete download and depths of understanding of this woman's emotions and her pains, and the direction of everything that I needed to do to remedy this, this woman's experience.
and then you're like, yeah, I got to figure out this angel
So
stuff.
then the ego got ripped out again, right? They said I should look into this.
Yeah.
And I did, and I can say, standing here now, I have angel wings tattooed on my arms. So I've kind of come, I've shifted.
Yep.
And that is, if we talk about our different abilities, we all have the ability to talk to angels. We all have the ability to do energy work. So it's, to be clear within that. But some of the things that I guess are our strengths. So if we talk about, my primary ability or strength, I'm an angel communicator.
Love it.
I believe I was always an angel communicator. I just didn't recognize that I was channeling the angels. I'd come up with wonderful advice for people, right?
Yeah.
Realize now that was mine.
That was mine. That was through me, not of me. So
Exactly.
yeah. So just for us newbies, or for the
Yeah.
newbies watching, because we're gonna break it all down.
Yeah.
So what is an angel?
What is an angel? So first of all, so that was 2009. So it's more than a decade later. Everyone that I have ever met since that day, I have seen angels with them. Not a single one of us, whether you are where I was, or whether you grew up with this and this is a great experience, every single person has angels with them.
Okay.
Certainly in my experience over the last, more than 10 years now. They are, again, speaking from my experience, they are pure energy, always positive. So they don't have physical form. They are pure energy. They come directly from God, source, universe, whatever you're comfortable calling it. And they are here to help. That is their, as humans, we have certain roles. From our soul's purpose perspective, their purpose is to be of assistance.
Okay.
They're here working with us, guiding us in ways that bring us to a higher vibration of love. We have free will. They cannot intervene if we adamantly don't want them.
Right.
So this is, this idea of, some people going, well, where was my angel when?
Exactly.
Or, and it's things like, well, some things some things it's not appropriate. Some things we needed to experience. And there's, things that we experienced that I'm not going to say, oh, it happened for a reason. It was a horrible experience.
Yeah.
And that's just very disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, whatever you are going through, everybody has these beings of light with them. They will, so they don't have bodies, they don't need physical bodies, but they will show up at times in physical form if that's what we need. And they will project their image in ways that we will recognize. So if I am looking at an angel, I tend to see, at least in my early days before I knew a lot about them, I would see like the classic, Renaissance painting, right?
Love that.
That is what I recognize as an angel. Now, if you're coming from a different culture and you're standing beside me, we'll probably see the same aura color, the same kind of energy around them. But because I was in this situation where someone came from an indigenous culture, and we identified the same angel standing beside this woman, same aura color, everything. Mine had wings, his didn't, because
Gotcha.
the angel appeared in ways that each of us would recognize.
Gotcha. That's so
Uh,
cool. I got
it is.
goosies. That's
And
cool.
when you start looking, when you really, because I have studied angels at this stage, right? When you start looking at them, they are across religion, across culture, and across time.
Yeah.
There's always beings of light that are here for assistance.
And so when we talk about beings of light, or we talk about pure energy, so um and this is going to be a question because I don't know the answer, but like in my understanding and in my belief system is that we all come from the same divine source of love,
Mhm.
of energy. So there's this, and it's pure love. Now, are we coming from the same source as the angels have come from, if that makes sense? So I envision it as this big ball of mercury. You can't ever be, you can take a
Yeah.
piece out and it always comes back home.
Yes.
And so are we, because we get worried about, I feel like people don't know how to communicate or talk to their angels or their spiritual light team, as I
Mhm.
like to say, because it feels like there's a hierarchy that we're not worthy.
Oh,
Who am I to be talking to an angel?
yeah.
Even if you believe in them, if you don't, then that's a different story. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah, we do all. And this is again my opinion, my experience. Do what works for you. But yes, when we talk about coming from that one divine light, divine love, God, universe, whatever you're calling it, yes, I do believe we're all from the same source.
okay.
Absolutely.
And so what makes an
And
angel different?
it's different roles.
Okay.
It's different purpose. Generally speaking, and there is a little bit of debate. Generally speaking, at least most angels have not been human before.
Okay. Other than
So
Metatron, right?
yeah, so we've got Metatron, Sandalphon. Um, we're talking the Archangels here,
Yeah.
and there's a few others around, I would say. But generally speaking, these are beings of light that have not incarnated in human form. Um, as there's some debate, and I've had some experiences that make me question a few things, but that is the standard wisdom, and that is certainly my experience for the
Okay.
most
Cool. That's super cool. Um, so what did Mike look like? Like, did he
part.
have a face?
So Archangel Michael, to be clear. So if we're talking, there's
Explain. Okay, so explain the levels of. So let's just talk. We have angels, helper angels, archangels. So what's the difference? Let's just start from
yeah.
scratch. Explain the difference.
Okay, so essentially, and I don't get too hung up on the different levels because we talk again hierarchy, which I think it's much more circular, right?
Gotcha.
It's we all have different roles. It's more circular.
So much more pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, hierarchy suggesting that one person is more worthy or that one angel is more worthy or more powerful. It really doesn't work. That's much more of a human concept. But we do have angels of different roles. And the ones that we tend to work with most often would be the guardian angels, which are angels that we come in with. I believe these guardian angels are with our soul. They travel through lifetimes with us. It's always the same angels. So we have our guardian angels that are personal for us. There's helper angels, which is, I guess, the best word to call them. But for any verb that you can find, there will be a group of angels. Angels of healing, angels of abundance, angels of joy.
Can I
You,
tell you a story about a helper angel?
oh, please.
So I'm obviously not. Selena's so much more knowledgeable about angels, but I have this. I wanted to test the theory about helper angels. And so, when you're kind of going shopping at Christmas time in Richmond
Yeah.
Center before pre-COVID, so I'd be like, okay, here's your test. Now, I don't think that angels particularly love to be tested, but I was just exploring the waters, and I think that
Yeah.
they allowed that with me. I'm like, okay, angel of parking, please, if you're here, or if you are true, or if there is such a thing, I will get a parking spot right near the door. I'm telling you, 99% of the time. And so now I'm just like, angel of parking, spot by the door, this or better. Thank you so much. That's totally
Okay,
my
and for
thing.
those people who don't know Richmond Center at Christmas time, the mall a little ways from here. They have people in the parking lots with like the orange, looks like a flight strip, going park here, park like it's not pretty. Okay.
No, not my happy zone.
No, it is busy, so that's awesome. The
So I
angels of
yeah, so I always just say it help. There is any verb that you can think of.
yeah,
There's probably a helper angel. I haven't always. I mean, I don't call on them
yeah.
too often because I think I kind of overstayed my welcome with the parking bit. So we'll give them a little bit of a break.
I work with need. Where is my need in this?
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they mind being bothered. They don't have the ego that, we presume, oh, you only have limited amount of time. Well, they're angels. They don't actually have like time.
Right. Gotcha.
But, I go with where's my need, right? So those are, yeah, what I would call the helper angels. Any verb, there will be a group of angels. And if it is for your highest and best, then they will intervene. And if it is not for your highest and best, then look at the lesson around that.
Yeah. Cool.
What transpires after that. So we've got our guardian angels, we are personal angels. We've got our helper angels that we can call in at times of need. And then we have the archangels. And the archangels are the ones that we tend to work with quite a bit. These are, so Archangel Michael is the one that we've been discussing. He is the angel of protection, the angel of courage, this beautiful, strong masculine energy, but appropriate masculine energy. So, protective, not controlling, assertive, not aggressive, right? Encouraging. And he's the one that very, very often appears to people because he really he gets the whole human thing, and he's easy for us to connect with.
Okay.
His humor is the best. When I started meeting other people that worked with Archangel Michael, it was my first great relief. Is everybody said he was totally sarcastic.
Love
Like,
that.
oh goodness, it wasn't just me. I'm not making this up. He is like sarcastic and funny. And I didn't know that till I experienced it, and then other people said the same. So yeah, so Archangel Michael was the first angel that appeared to me, this
Cool.
big angel of protection, and he's standing in the corner. I didn't believe in angels, and I just felt, oh, this is such a good feeling. I should have been scared out of my mind, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a man in the room, but no,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Archangel Michael, don't even know who it is. When he told me his name and pulled download. And then I just looked up and I smiled. It was the most incredible experience. So so when he appears to me, and he might look different to you because they will change their appearance based on what we need. But very tall, broad-shouldered. People find he often appears to them in as a knight in shining armor or some type of battle gear, because he's that protector.
Right.
And but quite often carrying a sword and a shield, the sword made of pure white light. His aura color, the energy around him, is usually a blue or a purple. He has a very, very hot energy. People will perspire around him, or you'll feel a temperature change or a air pressure change, because he's such you just don't mistake him when he's in the room. Because of that heat, once in a while people will see him as red, and I think it's more the heat coming off. My young son, when he was little, he's almost a teenager now, but when he was very little, I was having these crazy experiences, and so I started him from time he was talking to start talking about past lives and talking with the angels. I really honed his skills, and he always sees Michael as red from the very beginning.
Interesting.
Yeah. I went, no, he's like blue or purple. He's like, no, Mom, he's right there and he's red. And we're pointing at the same guy. So
Yeah. Yeah. I just have my perception of whom he is or how he looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what are the colors like the aura? So when we talk just back to the aura a bit, so aura is just basically an energetic color that we all have auras, and that's another topic, another show too, but it's basically you're saying like Archangel Michael for you has a blue energetic sort of off-gassing almost.
Yes. It's like when you can feel like heat radiating off of a fire, right? You can feel it. It's there even if it's somewhat invisible. So that it has the color to it.
Okay. And so what does each color mean, do you think? It's just to identify or just vibration?
It's independent. It's vibration. It often connects with the chakra colors.
Gotcha.
so Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, usually has a green aura, which is the color of the heart chakra. The heart is green and pink, and I tend to see that around Raphael. He's got this beautiful emerald aura.
That's cool.
That kind of bluish purple, that indigo, tends to be third eye, and that's I think Michael is one of the easiest to see. So that might be why he has that indigo aura. But also it might come as a color that feels really comfortable to you.
Gotcha.
If you see, if that color is not comfortable to you, he might show up as a pink so that you feel safe or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I often will tell clients, well, what does that color mean to you? How does that color feel to you? Because
yeah,
there's no meaning of, oh, red means rage or this means that.
no,
We have guidelines everywhere, but if you're seeing a color and it makes you feel really awesome and loved, well, then that's what the color means to you.
yeah. I had someone just very recently come in with, and they said, oh, and your guardian angel's here. She's showing up as female today and has this amazing yellow aura. And immediately, the woman starts weeping, and yellow was, her mother had died, and she had this yellow rose bush.
Aw.
And they had dug up the rose bush and planted it in her home before they sold the mom's estate. And so my client had this yellow rose bush, and she said, I was at the yellow rose bush today, smelling the flowers, and the angel showed up as this beautiful yellow aura. So that's what it meant to her. It was this beautiful maternal nurturing connection with mother.
Beautiful. Love
so
it.
that's why they will have the color that works for you.
That you need. Okay. So that's super awesome. So I love this stuff because I'm really not all that knowledgeable. I do use the angels of parking a lot.
Well, yeah.
The angels of picking pants, the pants I should wear. There's angels for everything. So, let's just talk about, so in using angels, so all of us can use the assistance and the support of angels at any time. We do not have to be pious. We do not have to be in a state. It's nice to be in a state of grace because they're in a constant state of grace.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or state of gratitude at least. But so how does your everyday person, so let's talk about, okay, COVID year and a half has been challenging in so many physical, emotional, and spiritual ways for people.
Yeah.
They've been locked, it's almost like they've been in solitary confinement. So there's a lot of mental health things that are potentially been going on and getting stuck in the body. So when we're clearing energy, so it feels like icky energy if we have a bad interaction with somebody at work, if we have an argument with our child or our partner, all of these sort of day-to-day human things that can cause us some discomfort emotionally. Who do you call on to get rid of that? And what are some ways that working with the angelic realm, and obviously we're going to talk about Magic Mike because he's the coolest one in this sort of energy work or removing energy. So explain how that works, the very simple language that people can use maybe around interacting.
Absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to say is knowing that we do all have angels with us. Before I go out of the house, angels, guardian angels, come with me, safe journey, all of these things. If I am going into a place that is going to be maybe a little tense, that I know that, I'm going to call on Archangel Michael because he's the protector. And, please just put a nice shielding around me. Maybe I'll talk to one of my guardian angels, really stay close to me. I'm feeling a little bit anxious today.
And just to clarify, this can be done in your head, correct? You're not like...
Oh, yeah. You don't have to say it out loud.
Yeah. It's energy. Thoughts are energy.
It's energy. And if you do say it out loud, make sure your words reflect what you're actually thinking. And most importantly, what you're actually feeling.
Okay.
Because if your words or your thoughts are not the same as what you're actually feeling, then you're if you're unclear putting it out there, you're probably not going to get the clearest results.
Gotcha.
But the angels, they're not tricky. They're not trying to make things complicated. They're like, hey, we're here. We're the ones who complicate things. I needed like the angel to show up in solid form in the same room I was in to actually really kick my ass into, okay, Selena, you rejected all the spiritual stuff.
That's right.
It's not working for you. Go.
That's right.
Come on. Get with me. Let's go. So, um, so talk to them. They're not judging you. They are here. If I've had a challenging interaction, and realistically, at the end of pretty much every day, I cut my cords. So we get energy cords attached to other people. Now we can get really positive, loving cords. These are wonderful energetic connections to the people that we care about, to our pets. You know, wherever there's real love, there's going to be these lovely connections, and that continues when a person or a pet has died as well. There's wonderful connections. But of course, there's times when we get less than wonderful connections too.
Oh, I lost you for a second here. You look like you got muted for a second here. That's okay. No, I don't know what your connection, but I'm going to keep talking while you try and fix it on your end.
Okay, there
Oh,
we
there you
go.
go. There you go.
Okay,
You're back.
we're back.
You're back.
Got my shungite here. I'm just, it is Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
So
technology.
Communication technology might be a little shifty, but I am loaded in my shungite, which is what helps me get through Mercury retrograde and technology.
Perfect.
Anyway, so to where I was at. So we get these cords attached, and they can be, positive, loving, but we often get negative ones attached as well. Even with the people we love, with our partners, with our children, we love them. We've got loving cords. We might have some negative cords too. And then the other aspect is quite a dramatic term, psychic attack energy.
Yeah.
But that's when it might not be a cord where you're completely attached, but you go to the grocery store, somebody's wearing their mask below their nose, and somebody else gets, pissed at them. Right? And all of a sudden you've got negative energy flying around, and it just looks like energetic daggers or like thumbtacks stuck in your aura. You might not even know this person. You might be an innocent bystander, really, right?
Yeah.
And so if I've had an experience like that, or just a heavy day, right? Just a day of like lots of interaction, people around me are emotional. I'm going to come home and I'm going to say, Archangel Michael, please cut my cords and remove my psychic attack energy. And it's an easy procedure. You don't have to be clairvoyant. You don't have to see what's going on. Ask for help and trust that it's happening. So Archangel Michael, he's got the sword. Here's my Michael. My little bronze Michael that I keep with me.
Hey, beautiful.
Crystals in the bottom.
Aww.
So, but whenever you see Michael, he's usually got a sword with him. It's this pure white light. It's this divine healing energy. And so Archangel Michael, please cut away any negative cords and remove any psychic attack energy that's stuck in me. And just imagine, even if you can't see it, right? I mean, I can see where the cords are, but even if you can't, as long as you ask and you're asking from the heart and you're willing to receive, that was a whole other story.
That's a big one.
Willing to receive, right? Remember, Selena takes care of other people. She doesn't necessarily receive.
Yeah. I think that goes for a lot of people.
Yeah. I got my ass kicked on that one too. Another fun story for another day. But I have since learned to receive.
Yeah.
But Archangel Michael, please cut my cords, cut the negative cords, and remove that negative psychic attack energy. And then you just picture him taking the sword, coming down my front and just cutting away any negative cords. And then doing the same, he goes down my back. And then he does a second sweep, and this time the sword, this beautiful sort of white light, it's a magnet. And any of that psychic attack energy, he just passes it through, and it's like it just pulls off of my body, out of my aura, and gets stuck to the sword. And he goes down the front and back, and you're just totally clear. And then I'll ask for my guardian angel. Now that I'm clean, surround me with healing light. And I'll picture a light of any color that at that time feels right. And then I'm like a sponge. I absorb it until I feel like I'm glowing from the inside out.
Love it.
And then finally, Archangel Michael, put a nice bubble of protection around me. We've cleaned me off, added something beautiful, and now let's seal it up. It's like putting that moisturizer on at the end of your skincare routine, right?
Yep.
And it's a beautiful, permeable, protective layer. So anything for my highest and best is going to pass through this layer. Anything that is not is just going to bounce off. It's a little bubble. It's nice and gentle to bounce off. It's a quick and easy procedure. I do it most days, not every day. I do forget once in a while. I'm going to say at least 5 out of 7 days a week. It's part of my bedtime routine to cut my cords. Um, it's for sensitive people, and I'm going to say anybody who's listening to a podcast like this, you're
We love
probably
this.
a sensitive person.
That's right.
And if you've been told that that's a bad thing, that was wrong. It is. You are like amazingly sensitive. It's a superpower.
Why are you so sensitive? Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm amazing,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
But it's energetic hygiene for the sensitive person. You're going to brush your teeth, you're going to wash your hair, you're going to cut your cords. It's hygiene.
So people that haven't done it before, this is all new to them. So it could be like a 2-minute process. It can be a 5-minute process. It can be go as long as you want. And the visualization bit, can you just invite Archangel Michael in and just be like, please clear whatever needs to be cleared for my highest good and let it go? Do you have to go through the
and
whole
let
thing?
it go as long as it's your intention. I love kind of lying in bed at the end of the day and just feeling that sword go down and cut my cords, and then feel that sword go down and pull out the psychic attack energy. I love that. But if that's not for you, angels, please clear away any negative energy on me and place me in a ball of protection.
Perfect.
It can be as simple as that.
Perfect.
And just receive.
Perfect. It's about asking and about, I mean, here's the thing. If you're not a believer, is it going to hurt you? No. We're not asking you to take psychedelics. We're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it going to hurt you? Like, is it worth a try? Maybe. We're not here to change anybody's mind, but at the same time, what a beautiful thought that we have this team of like divine light beings that actually want to hang out with us.
And they
right?
do. This is the thing. And when you say you're not trying to change anybody's mind, if you had asked me 20 years ago to look at myself today, I would have thought you were insane, right? Like I was all science. I was completely like I said, not even a skeptic. I was adamantly, I would push against this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so watching someone discuss it would not have changed my mind in any way, shape, or form. So that is never my intention.
No.
I'm not here to convince anybody. This is my experience and my story, and I'm so glad that I've gone down this big old rabbit hole.
Me too, because I've been on the receiving end of some of Selena's expertise, and yeah. It was pretty awesome, I have to say. So using Archangel Michael, Magic Mike, in that moment, you can just invite in your head or whatever. And it's nice to sometimes have a little bit of, I feel like gratitude or so. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for clearing me today, clearing all the cords of energy, all the psychic attack. And so when psychic attack is energy, it just means like what Selena said. It doesn't mean that somebody's actually putting a voodoo on you or a hex or anything. It could be even simply that somebody's gossiping about you.
Yeah. Just negative energy directed towards you. They might not even know your name. Could be somebody in traffic, but can be people talking about you.
Yeah.
You know what? To me, it's like I don't really care who it is. You know what? I just want to be clear. I have a shower at the end of the day. Let's wash the mud off. I don't really care who threw it at this stage. I just want to be clean.
I kind of do. No, I'm just kidding.
But you put your protection around. You don't do something stupid and put yourself in those situations. That's where our responsibility lies.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you may never know. It's human interaction, right? This is human interaction.
Yeah, and simply put, most people, if they walk into a room, they can get vibes. We're going to call them vibes from people. Like, I know when somebody's had a fight.
Oh gosh,
prior to it, you could I know part of it is being not empathic, but like a highly sensitive person, HSP, right? That you can feel energy, and some of it will be body language overall, but we kind of get a physical feeling. We've attached some of that energy to us through cords or whatever, right? We've absorbed that. We're kind of sponges. That's kind of our physical beings and our spiritual beings. We're really sponges because we're meant to learn.
Yeah.
In whatever way.
And I would also say, certainly in my opinion, would be that everything that we experience, whether it's in our even our physical body, everything starts energetically. First, it's energetically. So first we pick up the energy. Then we have an emotional reaction. Then we have a physical reaction. So if you have a physical illness, we move back to the emotion, then we move back to the energy.
Gotcha.
So if you're walking into a room where people have been fighting, even if you haven't made the intellectual connection and you're emotionally not quite sure what's going on, energetically, yeah, you've picked something up. You don't know why, but you're suddenly like uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
I want to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're like me, you're going to go try to find the nearest dog or cat in the house to play with.
Oh, yeah. Or child. For me, it's babies.
Yeah.
For me, it's the little babies or
Yeah, right?
little children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about, everything like we said is energy, and it always begins at either a thought or a pickup of some kind of energy that's in the room. So it's usually an emotion. I feel like a lot of it is emotion based because we are humans and we're so emotional, which is such a blessing and a superpower. This is why we were meant. I mean, if we are here, if there is no hierarchy and angels didn't ever have a physical experience, guess what? We're their teachers.
It 100% works that way.
Yeah.
They completely celebrate when they get to work with us.
Yeah. And that's what I say. So if you don't feel worthy enough to work in the angelic realm or ask for assistance because you've done too many bad things, I'm too bad. So I want to just, for anybody that doesn't know this, there is no behavior that should be labeled bad or good. In the angelic realm or in the universal realm, as far as I'm concerned, everything just is. So if you've had what you would consider a bad thing or you said a bad thing, they're going, she said a thing. We learned from it. So they celebrate both. They're equal. So we can forgive ourselves from those bad things or whatever. So one thing, if you were to say for really, really, really newbies, one thing that somebody can do that isn't necessarily cord cutting visualization at the end of the day, that when they're feeling kind of emotionally sort of attached or have lots of heavy stuff going on, what's one thing somebody can do at the end of the day?
Yeah. So I would say it's the concept of flow, right? So my first experience, I was sick. I had a great deal of physical swelling. My emotions were stuck, right? I wasn't flowing. So we look at the energy flowing through our body. So as long as this physical form is alive, we have an energy flow happening. Generally, it's coming through our crown and going down. Some people, it goes in reverse. But there is an energy flow happening.
Were you like hinting about something?
No, not at all. You're perfectly normal, Tracy. You flow just the way you're supposed to. Reverse. But the star seeds are usually reversed.
Yeah.
So I would say, probably maybe 10-15% of who I see is their energy flows from down up. The majority flows down. Again, I don't care. I just want to get you
it's flowing,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, as long as you're flowing, right? When the flow stops, then your soul has left the body. So right now we want to keep that flow going. So if you've had a day, even if you haven't had a day, just a good, like I say, wash your face at the end of the night, right? If you don't want to talk to angels, any of that sort of thing, practice the flow. So what I do is I just take a couple of breaths. So for me, I do flow downwards. And I'm essentially wanting to take in that energy flowing through me, and just like a beautiful, like rushing water or wave, or flowing all the way down and out my feet into the earth. So when I take a breath, I actually imagine I'm breathing through the top of my head, like my crown's opening up. Then I exhale and I push it down and out through my feet. If you try that and it's not working, inhale through your feet and exhale through your crown. I'll just do 3 very intentional breaths like that. And sometimes I'll do more, or sometimes I'll do them in a set. I'll do 3, and then I'll just sit there for a moment and I'll do 3 sets of 3 sometimes.
Cool.
That makes a huge difference. If my heart feels heavy, I tend to get, if I've got something going on, some people will get a headache. Some people, their stomach will go off. For me, it's in my heart. So it needs to coordinate with the chakras. But if you have a physical part on your body that's feeling tight or heavy at the end of the day, breathe as if, so for me, if it's my heart, I'm going to inhale through my heart and then exhale, push it down into the earth.
Love it.
That is kind of probably the easiest.
And it's super simple because we breathe. We
Because
all
we breathe.
breathe. We breathe. So
All
just
breathe.
make it intentional. So when you mean intentional, be like, I'm like, even if you're not, I mean, obviously you can't breathe into your heart, like through your heart, but it is more of a
Yeah.
concentrated intention of thinking about the heart space and the breath
Mhm.
and imagining the breath going there because you're breathing anyway, folks. So you might as well
Yeah.
make it worth it.
For sure. And the other aspect I love about this, and I think it's, just such a wonderful kind of segue, is when we're hanging on to things, look at it like the breath. You breathe in to get that oxygen. When it's used up, you don't hang on to it. You
Gotcha.
let it go. So there's things to let go at the end of the day. You're not going to hold on to the old breath that's useless. But we're so grateful that we have the breath. It
Yeah.
feels just as good to inhale as it does to exhale. That exhale feels amazing too.
I
And so
love that
if you've got,
analogy. That's beautiful.
right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're almost ready to wrap it up, but just one more thing. So I love the angelic realm. I love that you work with angels. This woman right here is like super fantastic and really has been so inspiring to me. This is going to be a bit of a question that I get asked so many times. So if we have angels around us all the time,
Yeah.
can they see us in the bathroom? It is such a question I get all the time, or in the bedroom.
That is I have been asked that question about the bedroom before. So one said they feel not super confident calling in certain angels because of bedroom activities. And I said,
Snoring? This must be snoring.
I'm sure, right? That was definitely it. Um, and it's funny because that had actually never occurred to me. And for yourself as a medium, I also had this question asked, someone really felt their grandfather's presence with them, which also concerned them for when he was intimate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I would look at it, first of all, so if we're talking angels, remember they're not human. They really don't care. Are you having a good time? Excellent, right? Whether you're in the bathroom or in the bedroom. You enjoying yourself? Great. You need some help? I mean, they don't care. Maybe you could ask.
Yeah, hey, there must be an angel of intimacy.
Yeah,
There has
intimacy.
to be. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what I would say, first of all, is remember that they're only there to help. They're always here to help. So if you don't want them around when you're in the bathroom or when you're in the bedroom, why would they be there? They're only here to make things easier. And if their presence complicates things or makes you uncomfortable, then they're not going to be present.
Yeah, I love that.
That would be my 2 cents.
Yeah. And also, so how I explain to my clients, especially with the mediumship bit, so it is, moms, dads, grandpas, ancestors that will come through, and they're like, I've had this question so often. And so I just say, well, they're energetic. So they don't have balls. They don't have the eyeballs like what we have, right? So one, they're seeing you energetically. So they're not, do you know what I mean? They're picking up on the energy of what you're thinking, how you're moving. They're not seeing you necessarily as a physical form, but they're able to read the energy of whatever situation. So they can tell when you've been looking at the photo album and that they're there with you, but they can tell it's like it comes to them as an energy template. They figure it out, they analyze it, and they absorb it as wisdom. And that's what it is. They're not really, and also they don't want to look at their kid or their grandkid.
No, I don't think grandpa wants to see you.
No, it's not something that, so I love that. And that was a little bit cheeky, but it is actually a legitimate question that I get from people.
Sure, I have been asked. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's important to know that you are always safe with the angelic realm, and you are always safe in environments as long as you come from a place of gratitude and love. And so in the final just sort of minutes here, what would be a quick, I'm going to call it a prayer or a quick mantra that we can say beginning of the day, end of the day, using our spiritual allies, whether they be angels or whatever, but I feel like you need to talk about what your prayer or mantra or conversation is with your angels every day, or something that we can, people that aren't
that we can do. So for sure. So For myself, I am an angelic channel. That is, as I said, my primary ability or connection. So I am going to talk to my angels every day in the morning. You can, but if you don't want to talk to angels, they they don't have the ego of like, oh, my feelings are hurt, right? You can just put it out there to the universe, call it the universe, and I'm starting this day feeling safe and secure with gratitude. May, today be filled with grace. Any lessons for me to learn, any experiences, may they be gentle. I've had the non-gentle ones, they suck.
Yeah, not
So
so comfy.
I always like to put in, may things be gentle. If you're worried about something in particular that day, please be with me, help me, and guide me. Um, and and then thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I like connecting with the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her, as I go out into the world today. Thank you for supporting my physical form.
Love this.
That's one that I will talk to my angels, my guardian angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. He helps raise our vibration. Been working out with Metatron these days. And and so please be with me today, help me through everything. If there's anything that I need, present the information clearly. I promise to have the courage to take action when I
That's
see that,
it. Yeah.
right? Because we have responsibility. We're not, it's, we're here as humans, we have responsibility. And always just thank you. If there's somebody you're worried about, if your kids, your partner, whatever, please be with them too. They can be in more places, than once, right? They're not bound by space and time because they're not physical.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
I will send an angel of protection to, to my kid on the bus in the same way that I will have them, in my office, here, if I've got a client with me.
Yeah.
I've always got angels here too.
Yeah. I love that. That's so beautiful. So much happens. So much magic happens when we're when we're full of gratitude. I feel like gratitude and love are the highest vibration we can ever have.
Yeah. And and also to acknowledge that some days are really bad days.
Yeah. We're going to
Like
feel shitty. Yeah.
some days bad things happen. Things, you wish you never had to experience, or people you love go through things.
Yeah.
And so it isn't like every day is filled with, all of these, but it's when you're in that experience, can you hold me through this? I don't feel very strong right now.
Yeah.
I'm hurting so much, or someone that I love is hurting so much. I don't feel powerful. I don't know what to do. Please hold me through this.
So beautiful. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I just got
Yeah.
goosies. I got
Yeah.
goosies. Goosies are always my validation tool.
There you go.
And so if somebody wants to get in contact with you, we will talk about that, especially with the angelic realm. Anybody here? Anybody here? Do I got anybody? I know. I'm
You've
just kidding.
always got people,
I
Tracy.
always
You
have
know
people.
that. Yeah,
I've
you
always got
know
people
as
got
well
my
as I
back.
do.
No, that's funny. So I just want to thank you so much. I love that you've had the experience of coming from basically a place that maybe a lot of people are and like, this is nuts, to a
Totally
place
not.
of like, and we laughed about it earlier before we came on, like where basically universe kicked you in the butt really, really
Oh,
hard and took away pretty like really hard, not just
yeah,
not,
yeah.
hit you right in the tailbone.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and then that you were able to just embrace this, and really you had no other option. And so, anybody that's feeling any kind of little bit of curiosity, don't wait for the boot up the butt.
No,
It's not worth it,
did
right?
that. It sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. And just
Yeah.
yeah, do explore the way you want to explore. But this is I love the angelic realm is super fun. You can Google all the archangels and see
Yeah.
what resonates for you and call them in. And we didn't really get a chance. We sort of talked about what each role is, but we'll get to that in another podcast. So thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
me. This was
Tracy.
so fun. This is like you the inaugural guest. I love it. And
Well, I'm
appropriately so.
so honored because you are an amazing medium,
Thank
and
you.
I love what you are doing with everything that you have. So amazing.
Thank you. I
So
know. It's fun to be where we are. Not
it
always,
is.
yeah, not always easy. And but it's, you know what? I wouldn't change it. It's so fun. So we will be putting audio together of this, and we're going to be posting it on my Spotify, which is I Got Your Message with Tracy Bach. And thanks so much for being here. And thank you, angels, for being here. And we will see you all next time. And yeah, everything in the podcast description below, it'll be below, has Selena's information, how to get a hold of her. And you would be so lucky to do so. Okay.
Thank you, Jade.
Thanks. We'll talk soon.
Okay.